So here we go. Our last one in this little journal. And then we'll be moving on to the next thing. I have got lots of fantastic comments from subscribers letting me know what they'd like to see. So far, it seems that the vote for Rolodex is winning. I've had lots of people want to see the Rolodex as the next thing. I had one question I wanted to answer for someone asking about these, the circles that I used last time. So these are from Paper Salon, Tailored Tins, unmounted die cut and unmounted stamp sets. This is the Monogram Builder 2, and this is the stamps. Now the numbers that are in here are from a different set, but these are for the circles that I used in the last week's one. So I just wanted to show that really quick so that you guys could see that. So there's that. And now for today. So I thought I would do a little bit of a throwback from our very first page. So I have picked the same colors. Some of the same things are in here as well. So I've got some black washi. I've got some yellow washi. I've got some of these little labels that I used. I've got a few little white paper scraps here. I have a distress spray, and I have some other green options too. So we're going to kind of do a throwback to this page here. So I thought that would be fun as our very last page in our journal. So let's get ready to go here. We're going to split this open so it's a little flatter. This has been pretty good. Maybe couple more pages this way. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So first off, let's lay down some background. I'm going to put this in here. Since I'm going to spray, I want to block this just a little bit. And I think I'm okay if it gets on other pages. I don't want it on the cover. That's all I'm doing. All right, so I did give this a little shake before. Hopefully it is still mixed up. So I'm just going to give it a little couple spritzes. And go from there. So while that's drying, realized I needed to get my stamp ready. So you can sit. Are you gonna stay? You're not gonna stay. Move that for a second. Let's go like this. Yes, perfect. Wipe my fingies. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm excited for what we have coming forward in the rest of this month. So we're going to do some more prep for December. I will have a video. I haven't made it yet, but it is coming on what we're going to do or what I'm doing. It's the 10th today. And this one. There we go. Okay, so that is set. Good job. Now, these are drying pretty good. I like that we have some of these little circlies showing up in here a little bit. Oh, and my fingerprint spots. That's fun. So next, what do we want to do? I'm thinking I want to glue down some little papery bits. Bunny's out, by the way, in case you hear some random chewing noises. It was a bit funny earlier because I had shut the doors, got him ready to get out and everything, and then I looked over and the cat was in here sitting on the windowsill looking slightly terrified and confused. So the two of them are not friends yet. We are working on it, but she definitely was like, what is happening right now? She was just sitting in the windowsill watching him, and he was looking at her like, what? This is my room. You're not supposed to be in here. And he's not super scared of her. He'll give her what for, so I'm not overly worried, but I definitely am keeping an eye on that type of a situation because of course it's concerning. Because they are not friends. We found her as a stray, so there's all that as well. So she was a stray a while ago. When we found her, she showed up at our house that we lived in when we lived in town, and we did try to advertise her and let everybody know about this kitten that we found, because she was pretty young yet. She was probably at least a year old. But it was one of those things, cat distribution system. And I'm trying to think, did I have my dog still? I don't think I had my dog. My dog had passed away at that point. I had a black lab that lived to be 16, 17, something like that. He was a fantastic pupper, the bestest pupper. This is a little big. I hope you can see this. So anyway, that's the story of how we got our cat. My rabbit is the same age as my son. I got him while I was pregnant or shortly before I had my little boy. I don't remember exactly now. It was so long ago. Oh yeah, let's do it. Okay. Let's do it. And this is some scraps of some mulberry paper. Just adding a nice texture, and it's going to absorb some of that distress sprays too, which is fun. Okay, let's do another little piece. So the best way to tear this mulberry, oh, hang on, Mister. Yeah. Mister. Here. The best way to tear mulberry paper is just get your edge wet, and then you can tear off your pieces and have a nice edge to them. I think it works very nice. You can use like a cotton ball. Sometimes in a pinch, I just use my finger. You know. So anyway, Rabbit and Kitty have lived in the same house before. He is zooming around. He is so happy to be out right now. They would, Pixie the rabbit would bumble and hop and stuff like that. He'd thump his feet at the cat and things like that, being like, "Who are you? Get out of my house." But they've never been loose in the same areas at the same time, because hunter and prey kind of situation. Can cats and rabbits get along? Yes, they 100% can. I have had house rabbits quite a bit throughout my life. I got my very first bunny when I was 5, and I had him until he was 9 years old, I believe, somewhere around there. He lived very long for an outside rabbit that a little child was taking care of. So I cannot believe that, thinking back on it, about how well I did with very minimal instruction on how to care for a rabbit. So, but he was the reason. His name was Cadbury, and he was a chocolate colored Rex, and he was gorgeous and he was sweet. But yeah, he lived outside. I grew up on a farm. It's just one of those things. We did not have indoor house rabbits, but later on I had a number of them, and I love my bunnies. And I have had some interesting characters in the way of rabbits over the years. For quite some time though, I did have a couple of house rabbits that unfortunately they never became bonded pairs, as I had always hoped that they would. So I had to have separate times for them to be out so they could have exercise time out of their cages in my house and whatnot. And it worked. I made it work. I always made it work for them. But they were good little twerps that I absolutely adored. And I had house cats, and my house cats at the time, because they all grew up with bunnies, so it was no big deal to them. They understood that they were just a part of the household, and they all got along really, really well. I had never had to have any concerns. I always supervised though still, because you just never know. I never had any issues with my cats at that time getting along, because I got them when they were kittens and I already had rabbits. So the kittens just grew up with rabbits being a part of their life and their buddies and friends. And when I would have the rabbits out, they would be tootling around and playing with the rabbits, and everybody got along really well, and it was fantastic. So much so that sometimes if I was getting into the cage for whatever to clean or whatnot, one of my cats, he and one of the bunnies were they were besties. 100% they were besties. And he would go in his cage and he would lay on the rabbit, and the first time I saw it, I was terrified. I didn't know what was going on. And then so I freaked out and I was like, nope, we are not having any of this. Absolutely not. And then later on, when that rabbit was out of his cage and that cat, his name was Beagle, was out, I noticed the rabbit would dive underneath the cat to snuggle, and he would just lay there. They would lay together like that. The rabbit was the one that was going underneath the cat. But if you don't know what's happening, that is a little scary of a situation. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying my bunny talk today. Apparently I have bunnies on the brain. It happens. Yeah. And then later on, I even had, because I used to kind of do like a rabbit rescue, and I would take in rabbits that were, because I was a veterinary technician, and I would take in rabbits that had some kind of health problems that needed a lot of work. And one of those rabbits was one of my dearest bunnies that I had. His name was Tyr, and he ended up having to have his front teeth removed because he had an extremely bad malocclusion. And luckily I worked at a vet clinic at the time, so we got that sorted, and it was an extensive surgery. He did really well, and he lived to be 12, I want to say. I think he was 12 when he finally passed away. And he honestly passed away because he had an underlying infection. And the thing with rabbits is certain types of infections, it's really hard to get them to clear because of how rabbits' immune systems are and how they encapsulate certain things. So that was a fight, and I tried a lot of things with him, and then it just became making sure that he was comfortable more than anything else. And he still had his cat friend that would hang out with him, and they loved being together, and so that was nice. Beagle was a great cat. He was naughty, don't get me wrong. He was a naughty cat, but he and that bunny were besties, and they did a lot together. It was very sad when he passed away, and my kitty was like, where's my bud? Where's my friend? And he would go lay in his cage. It was really sad. But yeah, but Beagle, he was his own kind of character, that cat. And then, so anyway, random, going along lines of stuff that's happened. Anyway, the reason these two are not together yet, my cat and my current rabbit, is because, for one, Kira, our cat, was a stray, so she doesn't understand. She also lived outside for a long time, so she is 100% a hunter. Since we moved into this house, we can't let her go outside anymore because we live in town. We used to live in the country. and she couldn't live inside for other reasons then, where we lived before. But now she is a house cat, and her and I are getting to be, we're becoming friends. She's not, I have not been her favorite person for a very long time, but she is finally coming to terms with the fact that her and I are here today all day long. So she best figure it out and become okay with me. So she is, but it's been interesting. And yeah. So far, the two of them have not been in the same room together. Today was an accident that they were in the same room together without a cage between them. It seemed okay. I may test it slowly and see if we can't start getting them to become friends, because I think the two of them could get along very well given the opportunity. But that is one of those things that you have to be very, very careful about, because you have definitely a predator and a prey animal. So we will see. But I think if they can become friends, that would be fantastic. And I would love to see that, but I don't see it anytime in the very near future. But you never know. Those things can happen really fast with bonding with animals sometimes. So we'll have to just see what we see. So I am going to add some scraps of washi on here now in a few places. I hope you guys can see kind of what I have building here, the different layers. I know some of them are kind of starting to blend in, but that's okay. I'm just gonna get that there. I'll trim it in a bit. Okay. One more little piece, I think, of this yellow. And now, of course, he's like flopped out, relaxing on the rug in here, because he's like, okay, I got my zoomies out, because he was zipping around in here. All right, next. Little bits of tape. We'll save those for something else. Okay, so a little bit of this black now. And it's pretty sticky, but because we have some damp spots, I'm adding a little bit of extra stuff here and there, just to make sure it's going to stay stuck where we want it to stay stuck. So who is excited for Defemorember? I am so excited. I love Defemorember. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my video from last Thursday. I will link it down in the description box, because if you have questions or want to be like, what in the world is she talking about? It's made up word, Defemorember. I love it. I'm putting together something for my bestie as we exchange stuff and see how that's gonna go. So I'm gonna be making a video on the rest of the prep that I'm doing for that, for the exchange that her and I are going to be doing as a part of it. So that'll probably be coming out on Sunday, this coming Sunday, because I have a different video already prepped for Thursday. I apologize for missing this last Sunday. It's the first Sunday I've missed since I started my Sunday schedule. I thought I had a video ready to go, and I was wrong, because my brain said, oh, you recorded and you're done. I forgot about editing. I forgot about everything until it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, you know what? I can give myself a free pass that this is the very first time that I have done this. So it is fine. It is totally fine. So sometimes you got to do that stuff. You have to give yourself some grace. You can make mistakes, and it's fine. Totally fine. So I'm going to add some of this fun little pieces that I have here, staying with our theme, our black and yellow. But I just thought this was really neat. layering up some more stuff here. There's also this like little kite on here. I'm hoping it will show up on this. So let's find out if it will. Just trimming away some of the extra on here. This is one of the tape transfers that I did a bit ago. Okay. It's still pretty sticky. I'm gonna add a little more glue to that where I think, oh yeah, that's kind of cute. You can see it a little. It's kind of like a little faded image. Hopefully that will continue to show up. Nice. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. And you know what? We have this other little rando piece. I'm gonna trim this down a little bit. It's amazing what you can do with some little scrippy scraps sometimes. Let's put you right about there. Oop. Good. Okay, perfect. Now, how about a couple little labels as a throwback to that beginning? Now, I know the adhesive on these is not fantastic. Like, they're great little stickers, but the adhesive on them, not so much. But I definitely want the green. See what else we got in here. Oh, I like this one. Let's do this friend right there. And then we're going to add a little bit more green. So this, like that, and then I'm going to trim that off. Okay. There. Okay, perfect. Now, do I want to add some? I think I do, but I'm going to do this splattery. I hope this will splatter. Let's find out. So this is like a, it's kind of like a brush ink. Let me move this slightly. Let me move this. Close my glue. See how this goes. I gotta get some more out. Come on, friend. There it comes. I want a couple big drips here and there. Oh, of course, I missed the page. Okay, that might have been much. A little excessive, Nance. Now I'm going to give it a quick little spritz of water. Yes, just to see if we can't get this to run slightly. Yes. That's really wet. I'm going to probably blot this. Oh, I love it though. I do love that. I haven't done a nice messy thing like that for a while. Let's see. Let's lay you here. Hang on. I don't want to get here. You go in there for a second. Make some other, oh, here. Go on that. I'll mess with that later. If I have little splats like that, I want to use them. Like, I want to put them on some other things to give them character. That should protect this some. So I don't want to get green on that other page. Okay, let's blot this friend before it's too late. I'm just going to pick up some of that because it is quite wet. Everything is still sticking, so that's good. Okay. I love it. I freaking love it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We need to add our date. And then I know we had like a little bit of a focal point on that other one. So let me see if I have, there was like a little lady's face. So let me see. That was on washi, I know. What can I do for a tiny little focal point like that? Where is that washi? Because I bet I still have it. It's in here. She's too not dark enough. Okay, because I think that would be perfect. It was one of these ladies, but maybe one of these instead. I have a weird piece of skull tape. All right, let's do, yeah, let's do one of these. Let's do this. Oh, there's one with green hair, or do we want one with purple hair? She'll stand out a lot. The purple hair could be interesting. Yes, let's do it as like a very, yeah. Yes, 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 let's do it. Contrast, we'll have a nice contrast then. That's going to be pretty wet yet, so this might not stick really well right away, but so I want to make sure her face is easy to be seen, so I'm putting it in this lighter spot. Very sticky tape. Okay, that's a little bit perfect, I think. I personally love it. Little pop of purple in there. Okay, now our stamp, and we should be good. Ink, 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 ink. Hopefully this is dark enough. I haven't checked this for stamping. I use it mostly as distress stuff. It will. Okay, great. All right, where are we putting this? Let's put it there. Perfect. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of this book, friends. And I hope you have enjoyed this entire series. So I started this on August. When is the date? I think the date 8/9. Yeah. August 9th of 2024. So that is how long it has taken to get through this whole little book. So if you have followed along and have enjoyed it, I am so happy. And if this is one of the reasons you've discovered my art and what I share, fantastic. I'm glad you're here. And I hope you get inspired or just want to see something pretty or weird or hear me ramble about, excuse me, random stuff like rabbits or something like that. But here we go, friends. There we go. We're all finished. Next week, probably a Rolodex, unless I get a swarm of people telling me to do another tiny journal. Otherwise, we're going to do a Rolodex, and it's still going to be tiny. So there you go. Don't forget, art with your heart. Have a great day. Bye.